Because some of these gems we're saying right now, we should say when we're filming. Hi, welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The adventures of Liz, Rebecca, and Hannah.
And we need to figure out a thing for you to say at the end there, so we're all included. But
Yo.
obviously we haven't yet. What's up? Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in chilly but could be worse, and the wind is finally dying down, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
I'm Hannah. I'm minion number 2.
Woohoo! Okay, so hi. I think we're just gonna do more updates on all our projects and stuff. Finish It or Frog It February is over. I have one more thing to show off with that. But the Staffin Make-Along continues.
Yes.
I'm trying so many new things, it's hard to keep track of them all. But I just want to make sure I got all that out. There's only one more Staff and Coach and Connect session on March 15th.
Yes.
And then, so February, March, were the Staff and Make-Along. I have mine here. I'll show it to you in a second at the end. April and May. I can't believe it's already almost April and May.
I know.
I have things, the yarn crawl. We might come to that in a minute. I feel like we're so behind on the yarn crawl right now, and I'm supposed to be in charge of it.
We're always behind on the yarn crawl.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to be in charge of it this year. Anyway, that's in May. That's in like...
Okay, it is the very beginning of March.
That's
Can
2 months
we
away.
just chill, though?
No.
Okay.
We're already behind. Well, I'll talk to you more about that later. In
Lots
terms of
to do.
overall organization. But hey, for people out there, I can't remember the exact dates, but
It's the week before Mother's Day.
it's like May 6th through the 12th or something like that, or something close to that. Don't hold me to those dates. Are you going to look it up?
I'm going to look it up.
But then your game won't be going.
But I can put my game back on.
So the Western North Carolina Yarn Crawl. I have squirreled onto this topic, and I will let you all know about it. In case,
Tuesday through...
trying not to have us both talk at once. The 6th, I was right on the 6th, not the 12th, though. It ends on the 11th. The 6th through the 11th of May. It goes a Tuesday through a Sunday, but all the shops have their own hours during that time. It's a celebration of yarn of all the shops in Western North Carolina. Not all the shops that participate. There's a dozen, and it's 2 months away because this is yesterday, today. Today is the 6th of March. And the shops still have to plan some things out, and that takes time. That's why I freak about 2 months.
I know, but it's the beginning of March, man.
No, I freak out about this time because whatever is decided that the shops are going to do, then we have to implement
We have
that
to do it.
for our shops. So there was winding mini skeins one year. There's always...
We're not doing that this year.
No.
Okay. So anyway, there are 2 months away. There are 12 shops participating. If you go to wncyarncrawl.com, things should be listed there, because I'm the one who's supposed to be on charge of that. So if you're in the area, or if you want to come visit the area, it's like basically just short of a week long of all the shops will have daily giveaways, and we all do different things to celebrate it, but you can usually get either some swag or discounts on merchandise, or every shop has their own interpretation of it, but all of us will be celebrating yarn for the week, like the business week, kind of. So I'm throwing that out there, even though it's 2 months away. Get ready. We've had people... I'm just going to keep looking at you, Hannah. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you, guys.
Last week, there were at least 2 people that we mentioned the yarn crawl, and they went, what? And I hadn't printed out, this is totally on me, I hadn't printed out the save the date with the participating shops, and they're like, ooh, tell me more. And I'm like, I wish I had the thing to hand you, but I need to print it first. So that should be one of my jobs today, if I get around to it. Anyway, so for special events coming up, the yarn crawl is a couple months away, and I was just reminded of that because starting in April, we as a shop are hitting our next No, I love this because that's distracting and I get to talk. um, we'll get to that
Almost
in a second.
dropped a stitch.
So, well, I refrained from comment.
I know.
So the next thing coming up for our shop, which you can participate in wherever you are as a community event, and there will be another session of Coach and Connect for our next make along, is the Granny Hexi Cardigan. And I don't have mine here, so I'm not going to talk a lot about that because we have a few more weeks of filming before we hit April. But it's our one crochet make along of the year. Where I am like not really maybe halfway through mine to show you all, but I'm also bogged down with other things. But I'm able to shift now from trying to finish or frog things or make decisions about that because February is done. I have a couple more things to show you from that, maybe only one. I don't know, but I feel like I'm free. Like February is such a good thing for me because I get to like do a spring cleaning and I come out the other side refreshed, but I come out the other side going, oh my gosh, I haven't started any projects and it's killing me. So, I'm turning it over though to Liz to go through things that we've been working on, and we'll circle back to me at the end because I've talked enough.
You can't even see these on the camera.
Yeah, you can. Not when they're in front of like light colors. Put it down here. Look, there's a needle. Ha ha ha. Okay.
They're so tiny. Oh my gosh.
They're not the smallest.
Well, I get that, but like, I almost sent Marcy into a heart attack yesterday when she saw the teeny tiny.
Because she knows you. Okay. What's the story, Liz? Tell us.
So, I'm making hats.
I feel like I want this to be like there. Boop. Okay.
I'm making
Raise
hats.
the table.
And
Ready? We'll both lift.
and I want a knitting themed hat, whatever, and then I'll do a crochet themed hat as well, and then a yarn themed hat. Anyway, so many hat ideas.
She has plans.
But I wanted just a little band of like knitted something, and after doing some color work with some thicker yarn that looked not what I wanted, I wound up digging out my lace, which is lace weight, and I knit. I've got to block the lace, but I knit just enough to make a hat band. And then I was like, while I have the 2.5 needles, I'll make another hat band because I'll probably need that for a different hat. And then once I'm done with that, the tips are coming off and they're gonna stick in the hat. With feathers. What?
Clarifying question.
Possible answer.
2.5.
It's a 3mm.
Yeah, it's a US 2.5, which is a 3mm for anyone who doesn't use the US system.
In transparency, I have used it before. It's just
For people who are not regular
A lot.
watchers, why did this freak Marcy out yesterday?
because my preferred needle size is 9 through 11.
We used to say
It was a
that
10.75.
at anything, well, that, but we used to say that anything below a 4 didn't exist in your world.
yeah.
US 4.
My
Obviously it does, although she said you can't even see it. So.
yeah, it's like they're toothpicks, but they're gonna make great hat pins. So,
I love that you're sacrificing them to like the knitting gods and putting them in your hat.
well, I intentionally bought tips and a cord because I was like, the tips will be epic hat pins. So, for a knitting hat.
And can I ask, because I know some of this, what pattern are you using? Because someone might say, ooh, that's pretty. I want to do it.
It was pattern instructions that I found on Pinterest for 1884 lace. The pattern instructions were written in 1884.
They're funky looking.
The wording is completely different. Instead of decrease, it's narrow. And
So it's like wrap or something.
it's yarn
it's like
thread over.
Thread over, narrow, thread over, narrow. Like
And
you
then-
have to understand what they
yeah.
mean. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then one of the rows is narrow, slip one, put the yarn or the loop over the top of it. So it's
center double decrease? Or
kind of. You're just decreasing one, but it's fun. And it's fast because I'm only making like 6 inches of lace. So this one almost. So
Just,
I'm
do you mind
using
if
my
I
hat.
raise
You
this
can
up
use-
again?
Yeah.
I love that she has these little hat blanks for making her like fascinator hats. They're so cute. They're so cute. Okay, I'm done.
So this is technically project 209 on needles.
Ooh, I actually really like it when
But-
it's up against your light color. Like you can
Oh,
see the lace
yeah.
right there. Look at that. That's pretty. Okay.
It'll be done today, so I'll be back to 208 on needles because I last week. What day did we start?
Like
Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in there. Hannah and I both decided we needed a new mosaic in our life. And so I am doing Cheryl Faust's Destination Unknown. She has a cowl and a shawl. Don't know if I have a picture of it. Oh, no. Sort
Cover
of.
photo, maybe. That's a good one.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
the
the other
cowl.
ones. Wait, there's a picture here.
There it is.
Kind of.
This is the work in progress kind of thing. Anyway, so in typical me fashion, I picked a fingering weight pattern written for typical fingering weight needles, and I'm doing it on Wizard in 10.5 needles.
And what weight is Wizard?
Bulky.
I'm here for the subtitles, the clarification things.
It's
the
a bulky.
asterisks underneath.
It's a bulky yarn,
That
but it
is
does
so pretty.
gorgeous mosaic. And
So for people who say I can't do a shawl because it's fingering weight,
yeah, like it's a shawl. Just I particularly like them bigger than normal because I don't want a little shawl.
they're like your coats.
They're a coat. They're a throw on Hannah because she's cold at the shop. They're,
It's lovely.
multifunctional. So, anyway, bulky. Take a fingering weight pattern and just go up the same needle size. Yes, you're probably going to need a bit more yarn, but you could also stop the pattern earlier because
That's one of the things I like
bigger.
about
But it's
about
fast.
patterns that just grow from small to big. Whether it's out and then back in or like this, it just keeps growing. Is you can change the size of it. You can change how many repeats you do, all that kind of stuff. So
I want to say Hannah and I are both about the same amount on your dark matter. Not
The other one.
The other one. Like, theoretically, we're kind of the same amount of work and smaller. Your dark matter. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Can I?
Oh.
She was looking to see what I was pointing
We
at.
have too many things on the table.
So we've done exactly this.
You're good.
Pretty close to the same amount of work. This is what 10.5 needles will do. And what size are you on?
That's an excellent point,
I
Liz.
am on 5.
She went up a needle size or two because she is such a tight knitter. So yeah, they're both about the same amount of rows completed,
Okay.
but bulky.
I'm doing that same one, and I was gonna say we could show the difference in needle sizes, but mine's not here. Never mind.
Yeah. No. That would be fun to see how much we've all three done. It's different patterns for this and this, but
But I'm doing that pattern. I think it's in the other room. Won't worry about it right now because I don't see it down
we
there.
haven't done a hold
Next
up in
week.
a while.
What?
We
Of different
with
things?
our papillons.
Oh yeah.
We used to. I'd do the bigger papillon, and you do the needle
next
writtens, and So, anyway,
I'm not leaving right now, so maybe next week. And,
I'm done.
No, this is looking gorgeous. And these are the two different options for contrast in the sweater I want to make with Wizard, but I think I'm going to do cream. Anyway, I'm not talking
We have
about
a
that
lot
one
of
today
cream.
either. Because I over-ordered it so I could make my sweater.
Well,
Hannah, what are anything you would like to show off to us today? And I will be ready with clarifying questions.
I am making a dark matter mosaic, and I started with.
Oh, I love how that shows up on the camera.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I actually started with this color instead of the black, but it looked swampy to me. It didn't show up.
Can I grab the other contrast or
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna grab this. You grab that. So this is your original color combo. Like if we just and they're
It
colors
looked like
that
it
go
would-
together.
yeah.
But yeah,
It got
looked
muddy-ish.
It did muddy quite.
It was
in
subtle.
Hannah's words swampy.
Yes.
So it was pretty, but it wasn't giving you good vibes about like
Yeah.
finishing it.
Yeah.
So
I did not care for it.
trust your gut. I always tell people, trust your gut.
So I changed. This is the Heritage silk.
Yeah.
And
It's like calla green or something.
yeah, something like
It's my
that.
favorite green in that.
So I went to a different shade of the Heritage silk, just the black.
Mm-hmm. But what's neat is when I looked over and saw you doing it, like it doesn't, because you're doing the other one with the off black, like that didn't hit me as like black. Like it's a soft black, you know? Like it's, oh, this will be fun next week because I'm doing the same color with white or cream,
Yeah,
I think. So next week. We'll leave you all in suspense. And have you been working on this other? This is all Cheryl Faust, by the way.
It is.
Oh, you got to the blue and
I
the pink.
finished another pattern repeat, another chart
Look at that
repeat.
in the camera. Look at that. That's so pretty. Sometimes, okay, what I say a lot for Mosaic is sometimes you need to like have someone else hold it and walk away to really see the effect of what it's doing, or even color work, right? So you finished another repeat?
I finished the second chart repeat and started the third.
That's awesome. It looks so pretty. And that
does.
one is
It's the Promises in the Dark.
Promises. I was going to prayers. I don't remember the P. I was like, Promises in the Dark.
Yeah.
Love her patterns. Love
They're
her
awesome.
patterns. That's so cool. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
pretty. Oof. Okay. I'm just saying. What before we started filming, I looked over and went, wait, that's different because her dark matter was not the same color I was used to seeing. But I feel like you've made it back to where you were with the green.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, when it's small, it's really easy to get back to like to make a decision like this. And I'm glad you made that decision before it got so big that it would have felt like now I'm committed, now I have to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That would have been really upsetting.
And
no, I'm
and it was
feel
a leap forward because she helped frog it.
what?
She wound a color, Carol wound a color, and I ripped it out.
Oh my gosh, if I was sitting right next to you right now, I'd hug you. just because I know how that would probably feel. It's like I'm not, it's not that I'm proud of you because you should be comfortable with what you're comfortable with. But I know how big that was probably for you. So, yeah. Maybe I'm making assumptions. It's okay.
No,
Go
no.
you.
She handed it here. She goes, "Do it." And Carol was standing there, and they got a ball, and they'd whined until I told them to stop. And I'm like, "Okay, next person." Yeah. But she participated in the frogging of her.
Good job.
I was proud.
But we're always here if you need us to frog stuff, you know. I'm happy to do it. To me, there's something therapeutic about it, but everybody's different, so that's okay. So for mine, because you know me, I tend to get carried away, and then suddenly the shop's supposed to be open. What is that? Okay. So, Finish Your Frog It February ended because I am counting this one I'm about to show you as it took me until Monday, which was a couple days, technically 3 days into March to finish it. But it was the weekend. It wasn't a business day for the shop, so
We're counting it as a
we're
finished
counting it.
frog.
It was so close, and I was working on so many things. This would be my 7th finish of, again, all these projects were started well before February. It wasn't like a start and finish in February. I would have picked like a hat if that was the case. 7 finishes, 7 frogs, 4 either bound off or acknowledging I'm not going to do like the other leg warmer for the Tassigari leg warmers I was making. Or retiring. Like, I made an extra category for one of my projects. The Rebel 2, which was always kind of a nerdy thing for me to do for myself. It was a brioche shawl that has Rebel insignias from Star Wars. It's also half of the yarn that is in it is a yarn we don't have anymore. And for years it's been sitting there half done. But I'm not going to bind it off, and I'm not going to finish it for the shop. It's going to become a personal project. So 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4 is 18. 18 things that are no longer part of my works in progress list. So I finally finished. Like, this is another one that this has not been blocked, but this is a Papillon I finished. Do you mind grabbing that, Hannah? And this was with Lang Puno has color shifts through 3 colors. And so I was doing the outside darkest, and then for section 1, section 2, section 3. Because when I started this, and we can take it down and I'll hold for specific things now. Pacific things. When I started, I was like, this is going to make the perfect moth version of the Papillon for the shop because it's brown. Yay! And then this yarn was discontinued. It's so soft, by the way. Oh my gosh. Then this yarn was discontinued. We only have orange versions of it left. So it was in timeout for a really long time.
I have a clarifying, a subtitle.
Yeah.
Subtext. Somebody asked.
Subtext.
Somebody
Yes?
asked, are we going to keep all the yarns we have? Are we going to keep them stocked in the shop? Because they didn't want to buy a ball and then us get rid of yarn. And I was like, oh no, we love our yarns. The only time we'll like DX them is A, if they don't sell, and she was buying Wizard. I'm like, Wizard always sells. And B, if the yarn company discontinues it, then it's sadness and despair.
So for like the last 2 Finisher Frogget Februaries, I've had 2 Papillons on needles. One with yarn we still have in the shop. And this one's been further along. This one's been in section 3, just only a little bit into section 3. And so I went, okay, this is the year I'm going to finish it, even if we don't have this yarn in the shop anymore. And a couple things happened. One is I blew past some added instructions for the moth that are supposed to give little eyes between the hats and bowls here, like the Pokemon. We call them the Pokemon balls. So this moth has no eyes because I realized on the last section, the last stripe, that I hadn't done that, and I was not backing up. And
it's a thing.
there are pretty much equal portions of the dark, the medium, and the light brown, these sections are maybe the same width, but the length is so great that I ran out of the lightest brown. I can see in the back here, halfway through the return pass of the last section 29 for people who know the pattern. So right in here, I had to switch back to the medium brown, but it was where the medium brown was shifting to the light brown. So it kind of fits. And by the last stripe, if you look at the bottom here, just in the, let me get my face out here. If you look at the bottom, you can see it getting darker for that last stripe. And then I went back to the darkest brown for the pods at the end, which are right in here. Boop, boop. And I also wasn't paying attention to the pattern, and it was supposed to be 2 stripes, 2 back and forths of the contrast before these pods. And when I was doing the pods, my count was off. I'm like, this should be starting at a marker, and it's not. And I went, oh. So I did an extra row repeat under here to make my stitch count correct for these little pinpointy, the little faux picots.
I like that you changed, or that you had to add in color, because in her moth instructions where she's talking about picking all the colors that are,
She does a flippy back and forth, right?
Well, yeah, where she mixes them up like I've done. She also says if you run out of one color, just pick up another color and go, because at that point nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, I
Like,
think it absolutely.
blends in
It
enough
yeah.
that your eyes aren't like, oh my gosh, you used the wrong color. So it's actually in her instructions about that time that she's like, if you run out of a color.
Thank you for saving me from not following instructions, but it's okay.
No,
I got you.
no, because
I
when
know,
people
I
are
know.
like, hey, why is this different? You can be like, it says in her instructions, some people will run out of yarn, and you just happen to.
I was always planning to do the dark pods.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I finished this. It's not glaring at me from the corner of my office. Yay! It's not blocked yet. I hope to block it. Maybe over the weekend if I'm feeling adventurous, and then I can bring it back in next week and show you how it looks blocked. It will grow, and the points will become much more emphasized if I block it. Really quickly before I show you how my Staffin's coming along, I'm playing with Sayun. All the different names for Nora yarns. I'm playing with Sayun, which is new to the shop, and it's not online yet. I finally made some progress on the Alexia wrap. The Alexia scarf. It's a scarf, right? Yeah. It's the cover. We got it right here. It's the cover of this magazine. Doot, doot, doot. I'm doing a class this Saturday, but no one had seen it yet, so I don't know if I'm going to have any takers on it, and that's okay. But I'm taking these two colors and doing a mosaic pattern with it, which if I can get it's looking really pretty. I'm really liking it. As a palette cleanser, because I started very few new things and then I stopped and didn't work on them. Another color of Sayun, I am making the Tentacula hat, which has these really cool strands going, like texture in different directions. It's really fun. I don't think it's showing up super well on camera, but I started this, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
you were doing ribbing during knit night.
yeah. And it's been really fun. Maybe I can show you the finished thing next week. And I'm trying to get done. I have all these shawls and wraps and things on the calendar for March, and because I didn't work on them for February, I'm behind on all of them. So we'll see what happens. But those are things I'm working on. And then most importantly, while Liz was talking, I had just gotten I finished one sleeve of this guy, of my Staffin. Yeah, and I haven't tried it on. I made guesses, and I tried it on before I did the ribbing for the cuff, and then I just finished the cuff. Okay. So you all get to see if this worked out, because I'm going to try it on right now. I had just taken this side onto a 12-inch needle to knit it, but I took it onto the barber cord while you were talking, so I wouldn't waste time right now doing that. But
Oh, and it matches your dress.
not really planned, but yes. I haven't worn this dress in a while. So so while I'm getting this on, this is the back. I'm checking what's the back.
I know that this sleeve was the sleeve you were
Yeah.
working on last. That's why.
Why, how you know it's the
That's
back?
how I
Okay.
know it's the back.
I am still in skein 8. Like, I didn't have to crack into skein 9 to finish this sleeve. And I think it's because my arms are not as long as most pattern writers think someone of my bust arms should be. But, knit night. When do we have knit night?
Tuesday, 7 to 8 Eastern U.S. time.
And we get into Zoom with the shop phone number.
Do you want to do it?
828-877-3550.
I'm looking at... That was wonderful. I'm looking at her like, why'd you do that? You're usually the one...
I'm usually the one.
I know. We do have
Except on the Sunday sit and stitch when you say it and my brain like plays it.
Your brain farts. Okay.
I just can't
No,
remember
you-
if it's
you don't-
877 or 883.
Yeah.
That's somebody else's number. Okay, so yeah, I think this works for my sleeve.
I like it.
Look at that. I think that's nice. See, and if I stand like this, it looks like I have a finished sweater on camera.
Yeah, that's because
And
you're
then I
kinda
go,
out.
See, look, it's
The
done. No, it's
Incredible
not.
Hulk.
Okay, so my ribbing at the bottom there, it's bulbing a little bit. Like this is getting extra poofy because my wrist ruler is there, but yeah, when it blocks, this should become a little smoother. Right now, it's kind of got the doop, doop, doop because of the ribbing, but I did decreases every 5 rows instead of a few. Like my size was supposed to do them every 6 rows, half the time, and then every 5 rows. And if I'd followed the instructions for that, I'm pretty sure my sleeve would be down here. So, because I know my arms are not as long.
Short arm people.
Yeah, because I know that my excuse me while I make sure I don't fall. Because I know that my arms, like if I follow a pattern usually, they're looking at their arm length under the table. That is awesome. Do y'all want to put them out? She's okay. I can see about 3 fingers length. Like this is how much longer Hannah's arms are than Liz's.
Yeah, my wrist.
She's also taller, but you know. But so okay. To get back to what I was saying, what do you? Let's get our shoulders lined up here.
We have about the same length.
Ha! And I'm taller than you, which means my arms are technically shorter proportional to my body than yours are.
Why like that much?
It's not a competition unless I'm winning. So, anyway.
She
so
wears shoes. Sorry.
I didn't say anything. So I tend to, when I see patterns saying, okay, do your decreases every so many rows, because I know my arms are not as long as the pattern writer is planning for, I tend to knock a row off of that and say, if it decreases short, I mean, my upper arms are a little more girthy than they used to be, but I used to say, and I still go with this, even if it's going to be tight up here, I used to say, and I still do, that I am going to, if it says every 5 rows or every 6 rows, I'm going to back that up one. So like every 6, I went every 5. Because I'd rather hit the correct stitch number sooner and have to just keep knitting to get to the right length than do it as written and suddenly find that I am past my fingertips and have to rip back and retry, or have my sleeve be too wide because I had to stop early. That's me.
And I just don't do decreases because I don't want to play with the math on that.
Yeah, and if you don't have to do decreases, but the optical illusion, I mean, it's not really. If I hold out my sleeve, you can kind of tell it's getting thinner. But the optical illusion, to have it look like a straight sleeve, it needs to taper as it goes. And if you haven't knit sweaters before, you might not be aware of that. And if you don't do decreases, it might end up looking like a bell sleeve or just more of a, it's like having straight cut jeans almost looks like bell bottoms, but not quite. It's got a different look. And once you find out the look you like, then you can adapt all your sweaters to look the way you want them to look, which is the fun part of knitting and crocheting. Yay! Okay. I'm done with my soapbox. We need to go because the shop should be open right now. And I need to get ready for a second part of a intro knitting lesson. But it's really great to talk to everybody. And we hope you enjoyed the things that we're working on. And yeah, anything else?
Like, subscribe, ring the bell. All the fun stuff.
Yay, we'll see you next week. Bye.